Welcome to the Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Hany Rambod, and I am here with a very special guest. Everyone that comes here is a very special guest, but you are very special because you just got done doing a very special workout with me here at the Evasion Gym now that it's been completed. I have JesseJamesWest, who is super influencer and podcast. I mean, you don't really have podcasts, but you have like your YouTube. You're a YouTuber.
I'm a bit of a podcast newbie.
Right. How many times have you done podcasts?
I would say I've done 3.
Including this one?
So 4.
Okay, 4. But you have over what, 3 million?
3.1-ish, 2 million.
Yeah, it's a rounding error. 3 point on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How many videos have you done on YouTube?
Probably like, I feel like I'm above 600 by now.
600.
Yeah.
And
it could be like 7. I don't know.
so we met when you hit me up, and I remember seeing you, one of your videos about Chris went viral because you tried to do like I want to look like Chris type thing. And I thought that was hilarious, right? And you ended up doing a show. And I think that was your second show?
This last one?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was your second show. You're a natural bodybuilder. You're a YouTuber. You have YoungLA. You're with Gorilla Mind.
Yep.
You have a couple of other, what other deals do you have?
I mean, just have my own like clothing.
Yeah, and then you're doing a joint collab because you were here to work out with Ronnie
Coleman. Yeah, buddy. Ex Relentless USA, baby.
Yeah, so you did the collab with him.
Yep.
So congratulations on that.
You.
And I wanted to do this podcast because I have a lot of Olympia athletes that walk in this door. But one thing that YoungLA has allowed me to do is in terms of just giving me the opportunity to work with influencers now. And I feel like there's such a huge difference. And a lot of people give a lot of shit to you guys because they're not athletes. They're not real athletes. What do you have to say about that?
I can understand. I feel like maybe we're not competing in a competitive sport. Not all of us. Some of us compete in bodybuilding. Some of us don't. A lot of fitness influencers per se don't compete, or they maybe aspire to. So I guess I could see why someone that's more, traditional is thinking they're not an athlete. They're not competing. I feel like not to join on that hateful side if it's hate, but I mean, I kind of agree to a point. Like at the end of the day, we are just, for lack of better term, a fitness influencer. Like we're someone that's motivating someone because we like to work out. Doesn't really make us a full-on athlete. I think the term athlete, like I grew up playing sports, so I consider myself maybe more of an athlete than someone else potentially, just because I've literally I played college lacrosse, D1, I played D3, I played sports through my entire childhood. So it's like I think athlete is more of a personality trait. For me, I'm a born athlete. I compete. I like to compete, and my competition now is like social media, YouTube, and competing with myself. And then obviously now I picked up kind of bodybuilding a little bit,
right? And
then so I kind of trickled into that. So
did you do? And I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I really want to know this. Did you start competing because you needed content?
I wouldn't say needed. It was more like I saw this avenue of something that the fans would absolutely love. And it was something that I always wanted to try it. So that's why the first time I competed in 2022.
And how old are you?
I'm 23.
You're 23.
Yeah. So when I was 22 was my first comp.
And when did you start your YouTube channel?
It goes way back. So it's like 2012, I started lacrosse YouTube.
Okay.
And I was like known in the
you were
lacrosse
9
world.
years old?
I was 12.
Okay.
Whatever year it is.
I was literally joking, and I was super close.
Whatever year it is how old I am. So 2023, I'm 23.
2 years older than my son. That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because my son's 10.
Yeah. I watched other YouTubers, and I was like, why don't I do this? So me and my buddy, shout out to Stelios Krutis, that's his name. We both were good at lacrosse. We played together. We started filming our content, almost like workout montages, but just for lacrosse. And we just kind of learned like editing and posting. And honestly, we learned a lot about marketing from age 12 to, let's say, 17.
Okay.
we were doing reviews for companies. So like let's say you had a lacrosse company, like, hey, Hany, can you send me one of the pieces of equipment and I'll review it and I'll make a video. So we learned kind of like marketing in a way. And then I started my fitness.
This is all during your teenage years.
Yes.
Wow.
I was very entrepreneurial, like from a young age. Like I was the kid that would like hustle at school and like sell bracelets. I literally would make bracelets because I figured out how to do it and then sell them in like 5th grade. I remember getting caught and they're like, you can't be doing this. Like, we love that like you're trying to do a business, but you can't be doing this. I feel like they probably thought I was going to grow up and be some like drug dealer. Like, they're like, this is the kid. Like, because I kind of was like a skateboarder too. He's like, he's going to be a drug dealer when he's older. But obviously I'm not. But kind of like kickstarted my entrepreneurial side. And that's why I've always like really loved like some sort of hustle of some sort.
So you had the entrepreneurial mindset. When you started doing it for lacrosse, did you then say, look, I'm looking at these, I mean, who's the big YouTubers you were looking at when you were coming up and you started this channel for your lacrosse page?
There's a company called East Coast Dyes. Mm-hmm. It's probably like the most popular equipment company now. And there was just
when you say equipment, like machines?
No, like the stick and like
for lacrosse,
like to play with your the gear. I should say gear, the gear that you use. Not
bodybuilding gear, not juice,
not juice,
not juice.
But yeah, so like I saw them and I was like, why this is something that it piques my interest to kind of get into, like social media.
Right.
But I'm glad I did it when I was really young because it taught me like editing and everything. Like, so when I got to the point to do fitness, I already knew how to make videos. I already knew how to talk to a camera. So I've been talking to a camera since I was 12.
Right.
Like there's videos like you could like overlay if you feel like it or pop it up. I was 12 years old saying like, I had the highest voice. I was like, my name's Jesse James, or my name's JesseJamesWest, and I'm gonna shoot lacrosse balls today.
So is
Oh, they're playing it right now. Yeah, dude, that's me. I think I was 15 there.
Dude, that's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
You look like a baby. You
yeah.
Really do.
So Spartan Strings. Not a lot of people know about this, but that's my first video.
Wow.
And it's like, I think the journey. I think that's why.
Guys, you definitely got to throw some overlay on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because
think that's why. Like
you do look like you're 10 years old.
Yeah, fully was. Like my hair, it does before puberty. I had like
was that your cup?
Ass
was
hair.
That a cup? Looks like,
was that?
Looks like a cup.
A cup? Like
that lacrosse stick.
Yeah.
So when you were doing all of this, I want to add a couple things to this because I want to create a little bit of a, my audience, my core audience, from what I realized is they're very into training.
Yes.
They want the information. And now I'm realizing that, again, through YoungLA, through a lot of the things that we were in the YoungLA event together, you guys that are doing influencing, I think it's cool that many of you do compete, especially because like Max Lift competes. Shizzy did a show.
Yep.
We have you. The Trend Twins, not yet, but I think that they're planning on doing a show.
Yeah, they look like they're dieting down and stuff.
They're dieting. And I think part of it, some of the people go like, look, man, I want to do it so I have content.
Yeah.
Others are doing it so they want to win. I feel like you do it because you're competitive and you want to win.
Yeah.
And you want to be really good at it.
So the first time I did it, I was like, oh, that's going to be a banging video. And then I did it. I died in like 2 weeks. Like I'm always pretty lean.
Right.
But I dropped like 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Definitely not the healthy way to do it. But I was like, let's just see what happens. Like, does my audience even want to see me step on stage? Do I want to step on stage? I have no idea. I've never done this. I do it. And I was like, that was pretty cool, And then this year came around and I was like, I want to blow that out of the water. Like my goal was, I'm natural. And I swear. I know you're.
No,
I'm natural.
The ongoing joke is a lot of people are always say, "Is he natural? Is he not?" I do believe that you're natural, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Yeah, so like this year, I kind of found myself in sort of like a mentalish slump by mid-year. I was like, I've done great videos, I've done great numbers and everything, and everything's been cool. But I feel like personally, like as like taking a step out, like pushing social media aside, I was like, I want something that's really going to challenge me. And just like, I need a goal to accomplish. I've been an athlete my whole life. I always saw, I want to win the state championship in lacrosse. I want to score 100 goals this year. I want to get the most points in history or whatever. And those were like goals that I had in high school and college and stuff. And then,
did you go to college?
For 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you?
I
bail?
dropped out because social media started like just really ramping up. I just couldn't do it.
Similar to a
and I'll tell you
thing.
more. I'll tell you more on that. But then this year came around and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something. Like, I'm just going to do this. I have no idea if this series is going to be cool or not. I'm just going to do it. I think the fans will love it regardless. They're going to be attached to this, like, and they're going to be motivated. And they were completely great business move, but I needed it personally. Like, I was like, I'm going to push myself so freaking hard. And I want everybody to look at me as someone that doesn't look natural, but it is natural. Like, I wanted everyone to question my natural status. And honestly, it worked really well. And I
want to get your natty card checked.
Yeah, like I wanted everyone to be kind of like, no way he's natural.
Yeah.
No way he looks like this. And just show everybody, like, you guys, you don't have to do gear to look crazy. Like, it just takes a long time. Like, I've been training for 8 years.
Yeah.
Maybe almost 9.
I think you're right, but I want to interject a
Yes.
bit. I was a natural athlete my whole competitive career, lifetime drug free. The guys now are much better than the guys back then. Now, did we have some people that were natural that were probably pretty good, that weren't quote unquote cheating? Yes. But many, many more athletes are better now because of the information, because of the supplements, and because of just the lack of using excuses as overtraining. Because I think that was also a big piece of it too. Because everyone's like, oh, you don't want to overtrain, especially if you're natural.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was coming up. So I do believe you're natural, but I do think that there's people out there that still pretend to be natural that are not because they're trying to ride a certain, wave. Okay.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to sell people on a certain ideology or supplements or products or services or whatever. But one thing that I really want to be able to get to the audience is that you're super competitive. You're a person who's very driven at a very young age. And what I'm impressed about with you, and the reason why I really wanted you on this podcast is because I want to share your insightfulness of the business side, because you do quite well for yourself,
Nice.
and
I try.
And you also are really good at stopping your videography people, your photography people, and you normally have at least 2 people with you, both times that we've shot together. And you're setting up thumbnails, you're setting up the video, the essence of kind of the, I would say, for
Like a
lack of a
vision?
better term, not just the vision, but you're the creative director on set. So you're trying to create angles together, but you're also getting the story across, and you'll do 5, 7, 15 different takes because you want to make sure that it comes across as genuine and clean and concise. And I feel that you really own what you're putting out there because you want the quality to be super, super high. We sat for 20, 30 minutes because you wanted to have a really good photo for the thumbnail. And you did a setup. We did it on a Smith machine. Then we went over the free weights. And you're very particular. Do you feel like sometimes you overanalyze that too?
Oh yeah.
Because I see a little bit of myself on that too. Because I've been that way.
Yesterday, my team would know this because it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's an OCD thing. I get this from my dad, and it's probably like a nurture over nature thing. Like I was like nurtured that way. It's in my blood to be the way I am. But I think like just seeing my dad, he always said, like, I don't know the exact words, but I'll summarize. He always would say, like, either do it perfect or don't do it. And ever since I was a kid, and, you're a kid, you're like, Dad, whatever, I don't want to listen to that, blah, blah, blah. And like, the man was right. Like, do it perfect or don't do it at all. Because, he'd ask me to do something and I kind of half-assed it as a kid. And he's like, why? Like, now you got to go do it again.
Right.
Now you got to do it twice. And I think the biggest thing was kind of like, I didn't just make it in the industry as easy as it may have looked from the outside. It took, like, I've been making content since I was 12.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it took fucking 10 years. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Everyone always says, can I swear?
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah,
we know
absolutely.
we can swear.
On my channel,
Yeah. So
you're fine.
So, so I think like, so it didn't happen overnight. And it was one of those things where I promised myself that, like, I looked at myself and I saw all these like 18, 19-year-olds popping off. And I was like, I wish that was me. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to make it. I had no doubt whatsoever. And I thought, when I do, I am going to make sure everything I do is proper. It's 100% effort, because I saw those guys and I was like, they're not giving 100%. Like, I know for a fact that they're like a little lazy and just kind of like got a little lucky. Like, no offense, but like some people do get lucky. That's just how things go.
Right.
And
so who are those people?
I can't say
Come on,
those.
you can't puss out now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You're right. Okay. So
That's why it's called the Truth Podcast,
Yes.
even though the sign's not up yet, because my team hasn't put it up here. But
so this is no hate now, because I'm friends with them, and honestly, I think after I met them, they then were like, I'm gonna ramp my shit up, and they did. So,
because of the competition and because
yes,
of what they saw you hustling.
Yes.
Okay.
So like at first, and this again is no hate. I thought this is what at least my speculation was in the beginning. Like, it was my boy Anthony Mantello, like, and Lex Little. They kind of just like popped up out of nowhere, and I'm like, what the fuck, like. Out of nowhere. Like, and I'm like, and if you ask them, like, how long have you been in social media? I feel like, I don't want to speak for them, but it could be, they'd be like, oh, a year. And it just happened. And I was like, bro, I've been going 8 years and I have 10K. Like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, they got sick physiques. Like, so that definitely helped them
For
get
sure.
their followers. And now I could definitely say Lex puts in a lot of effort in his videos.
Lex is funny, man.
I love Lex.
I met
Love
him for the
Yeah.
first time, and he likes to talk shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
He's
So
funny.
he's got
funny.
an edge to him.
Yeah.
But we got to get him in the gym, actually.
Dude,
because-
yes. He's crazy when he
yeah.
lifts and stuff. And he's super strong. So super talented guy. Like, he definitely like matured a lot into, because he was young, you know, he matured a lot into it. So I saw people and I was like, excuse me, I was like, they're doing great. Like, they're killing it. Like, in my head, they were the peak of like fitness. And I was like, the second that I get a chance, I am blowing everybody out of the water, and I'm going to like give it my absolute all. And I think that kind of led to like this perfection style,
Got
you know?
it.
And you know, like we could go back right now and I could probably get a better thumbnail in my head. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
It definitely irks me.
Yeah.
And I said this to my team yesterday. I was like, I literally kept repeating myself in the car. I was like, the thumbnail. Like, was it good, guys? Like, was it good enough? Like, did we get it? How's the
The
video?
one with Ronnie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we took like 3, but the shoot took really long. We trained for like probably 3 hours. Like, we were just doing a ton of stuff. And I don't want to keep making them do it over and over. It's like, all right, I'm gonna figure it out. I'll piece it together or something. And I went home. I went to the hotel and made the thumbnail, like, start to finish.
Looked great. I
You
saw
know,
it.
It looked great.
Yeah.
Looked killer. So all in all, it all works out in the end. But I think like, why not obsess over it a little? I think the most successful people are obsessed with whatever. People call it obsess. It's really just like, you're just really determined on whatever that is. Like, someone can look at any of your athletes or what you do and be like, dude, you're so obsessed. Like, Seabone's staring at his left calf thinking that calf can be, not that I'm not speaking for him, but like, just scenario.
Sure.
That calf needs to be bigger so I can be better. And someone's like, dude, you're just like over analyzing that. And he's like, no, trust. Like, he knows what he needs to improve on. He's going to hyper fixate on that, as you're going to be like, you know what? Last year, I could have gave you 10 more carbs. I know I could have gave you more carbs. You were a little flat up there or whatever. And I think that makes greatness, you know, but it also drives us insane and we sleep less.
That's right. You
So
do.
cheers.
Yeah. And absolutely. Is your dad an engineer?
He's like a blue collar, electrician.
Electrician.
He's a man of like all trades.
Yeah. Yeah. I call that measuring twice and cutting once. That's my saying, right? You want to measure twice and cut once. And some of us measure 4 times and cut once. But I think that ultimately in your sphere of influence, you have a lot of people that look up to you, and they see you and say, hey, look, even my son knows who you are, and my son's 10, right? And part of it, like, is that I think you've set a standard with the content you've done. But I also, as we were talking before we jumped on the air here, is that there's a very difficult task of keeping the audience going, you know? And when that happens, when you've grown to 3 million, you're starting to go, okay, well, wait a minute, where to next? Where to next? And you see, I think of fitness influencers like Column, you know, who went through some personal stuff. And these guys were just like blowing up, and then the pressure and all this. Do you ever feel that with that pressure where sometimes it's just unbearable, or you feel like it's to the point where it's debilitating?
I think I would say yes. Like, definitely there's a lot of pressure, but I think it's my own pressure. Like, I don't look at it and think, oh my God, 3 million people are like gonna freak out or they're counting on me. Like, I think I'm just so obsessed with what I'm like. I know what I'm capable of. I know I can either make this video amazing, or I know I can tell this person's story or change this person's life. Like, I know I'm capable of all these things. And then when I don't hit them, or I fall short, or I go left when I should have went right, I'm like, what the heck? Like, you idiot. Like, you know, like, I know what to do. And I know the answer is not all of them. I know the right path I should be going on. And then you make a wrong choice and you're like, what the fuck? And then I think the external pressures of an audience can definitely like add to that. Cause like, if I'm calling myself out, chances are maybe they're calling me out too or something. And then you're like, oh my God, what is going on? And you feel this pressure. So I would say yes. But even my girlfriend, she's always like, you're so hard on yourself. And I'm like, I don't think I have any other way to be but hard. I tell my friends this. I say, I feel like I'm failing. Like, the only time I feel like I'm winning is like maybe 1 month out of the year, when it's like my peak freaking month and I'm like, damn, I'm killing it. And then the next month you're like, I suck. Like, there's some sort of, it's like a hamster wheel of like, you always feel like
you're always
failing.
chasing, right?
Yeah.
You're always trying to chase. We always say, trying to always chase greatness. You'll never get there, but it's just part of the journey.
Yeah.
When you were coming up, did you have a breakout? Like, again, for years you were like 10,000, you said, right? And then you had this big spike.
Yeah.
What do you think was the big spike for the people that are listening right now that are trying to put together a YouTube channel?
Yep.
And where do you feel, in your case, you were able to kind of break out?
There was 2 spikes in my career. One, I could say 3. There's 3. There was one, this girl named Noelle. Noelle Leva. I started making content with her, and then people kind of got like attached to like relationship stuff, and I kind of like, I think I kind of revamped like a guy-girl duo on fitness industry, because that was kind of like a 2011 thing, like Christian Guzman, like it was like kind of the clickbait era, but like where he like get his new girlfriend and like he'd vlog with her, and those videos would blow up, and I always looked up to him, so that's kind of like my default was like, oh well, let's look at what Christian did, like what did he do years ago. So I met her, and we were just great friends, making a ton. We made probably like 5 extremely like viral videos, and I was like, "Yo, I cracked the code." Like,
but you guys didn't date?
No. But everyone thought we were dating and stuff, so that kind of was like the mystery of it.
So she shot you down?
We kind of like shot.
Come on, man. Be honest. The truth podcast.
You're right.
Okay, here we go.
Fuck, man.
See, I'm going to call you out, brother. I'm going to call you out. You're like, yeah, she's hot. And I'm like, come on. I know you had to try. I know you tried to slide into the DMs.
So it's funny, bro. So we met on Tinder in college, before I was like a fitness YouTuber at all. And we hung out and stuff.
And you were still a lacrosse YouTuber.
Still a lacrosse YouTuber, playing college lacrosse, college student. And we hung out, and I'm not going to lie, and she probably agreed to this, so fucking awkward. Like, we were like 2 positive magnets, like just...
That were just...
Like, it was like...
No chemistry.
No chemistry whatsoever.
Okay.
So we're like, all right, see you later, whatever. And then I started making merch, and I started becoming like a fitness guy, and I needed a model. So I was like, hey, you want to model my merch? And then she came modeled, we shot that, and I was like, wait, what if we like made a fitness video? Like, you know those famous videos? Like, I think every like vlogger fitness guy has done one where there's like the girl sitting on them bench pressing.
Yes.
Like Christian Guzman did it, Brandon
Bradley
Bradley Martin did it. It was like a Bradley Martin thumbnail.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's do that.
Right.
Got millions of views. Honestly, glad it happened because it pushed me in like a more, different
And that was
category.
like, what kind of jump was that?
So that was like I think I was at 150K, and that got
YouTube.
me, and that got me to a really rapid 300, and then I moved to LA.
Okay.
And LA got to like 500, and that was like a very, very big growth period, but that was just like pumping out content more. And then when I met my girlfriend, my now girlfriend, one day she'll be a fiance. It's gonna happen eventually. All right, I'm getting there. I'm trying my best.
I haven't met her yet. What's her name?
Claudia.
You
Beautiful.
hear that,
woman.
Claudia? We're getting a little bit of a
She knows. She's we'll be laying in bed. She
start
like
ring shopping, Claudia.
She shows me and goes, "This is the one I want." And I'm like, "Hold on, let me take a photo of that." So, I'm like, all right,
don't get it too big because then it'll leave a mark if she ever hits you.
Oh my God, that's funny. So I meet her brother first, this is how we met. I collabed with her brother, and the video was like going on a date with his sister, which was my girlfriend Claudia. Now my girlfriend Claudia.
And you said she's an influencer too.
Yeah, so their whole family is influencers.
The mom and dad.
Mom, dad, sister, brother.
And they're all in
Swear to
Jersey
God.
or
Maryland.
Maryland.
Middle of Maryland.
They're middle of Maryland, and they're all influencers.
Crazy, dude.
So and that's all they do full time?
Yeah. Like, I mean, the dad like has like a business and stuff, and like the mom was a body painter. The mom started it.
A bodybuilder?
Body painter.
Oh, body painter.
Yeah. So she paint, like whenever I do my body paint videos, her mom's painting me. And so I met the brother, and the brother honestly like transformed my thought process. I learned a lot from him. He was like 3 years ahead of me in what like he knew. So it's like training with like someone bigger than you.
Sure.
You know, they know all the techniques, and then
Right.
they start teaching you in the gym, and you're like, wow, I've trained wrong this entire time. Like when we train, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like clearly I don't. And so it's the same thing. And he taught me a bunch of different stuff, like, oh, like the title and thumbnail, like this is how you can kind of make it reach more broad audiences. You know, this is gonna be kind of, and I just bounce ideas with him, and me and him really meshed, like, because we both are that like very driven business, YouTube,
Sure.
everything, motivation. He's in the gym all the time.
This is a couple years ago.
Yeah, two and a quarter years ago. And it just like really shifted my mindset of like, this could be bigger. And then started pumping out
From
some
500,000.
500 to then like a mil was like really quick, especially with like the stuff doing content with my girlfriend. Cause I learned like new tactics, and then also had a new girlfriend. And so I was like, this is sick. And she knows, like, we were pumping content out, and we honestly like stopped doing a lot of content together because it's kind of like the only thing that we kind of like had issues on.
Right.
Because she's so mellow, which is great. It's like a positive and negative battery. Perfect.
Right. And you're so hype.
And I'm so hype all the time. Like, I'm hype right now.
Yeah.
And so she calms me down. And there was like a very big like moment where she's like, babe, like when you're filming, like you're very planned, you know what you want to get. You're always super analytical, structured. And she's so not like that. She just like, I'm just going to film my day. She's like Chris Bumstead. Yeah. Like, so I'm basically dating Chris Bumstead. I'm kidding. That's too far. So she has that like vibe of just like very chill. Whatever's there is there, you know, that's it. So, you know, with all my pre-planning and all this shit, she was like, babe, like, I don't want to, you can't keep making me do this. And I'm like, you're right. You know what? So we don't film anymore. Relationship's the greatest it's ever been. Not that was ever rough, but like that was the only ever arguments, you know? So,
Would she ever get jealous of your obsession with Chris?
You know, she tells me that I need to pull back, you know, but I can't help it. It's just the juicy pumps, you see.
You literally are obsessed with Chris. Every time we're going to talk about this because this is like
Chris
legit.
is probably like, I need a restraining order.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, you're good, dude. Don't worry.
It's like, hey, Hany, I got to come to town, but just make sure Jesse James ain't around. No, he didn't say that. But
I was like, damn.
No, he didn't say that. But no, what's funny is the fact that you obviously, when we do videos and I see you do those videos and how I saw the Olympia last year, a lot of your stuff was built around Chris. Is that because you're just a super fan, or I don't want to put the words in it, because that's how I look at it. But is that what got you into competing? Was it him? Was it anybody else? Because I know a lot of people are getting into that.
I definitely look up to Chris, you know, like for what he's done, and I think, you know, everyone looks at him and they're like, damn, he looks fucking sick.
Yeah,
you know, especially like during the preps and stuff. I think he brought competing to a very mainstream audience. Like, to be honest, like I knew of competing, but like he was the only person, him and Christian Guzman were the only ones I ever watched compete. Like,
got it.
Outside that, I probably wouldn't even know what the difference of open and classic was. Like I learned that. And then I think like seeing his series, how he posts so much when he's leading up to the Olympia and like all these different things, it like gave me an idea of like, hey, why don't I do a prep series? You know, like normally I would just make the one video about competing, and I was like, you know, I think it's like I'm not sure if you said this. Someone's like the C-bum effect, where he kind of can just like whatever he does is like golden because he has such like notoriety and like brand loyalty. He could freaking sell socks.
Yes,
and I'm sure he does.
Yes,
and it bangs. He could sell energy drink, bangs. Like, so I was like, he's doing these things with business that no one else is really doing, that's also doing competing. So it's kind of like, if I can emulate that to a smaller degree, I'm not in the Olympia, but if I can treat this competition like the Olympia and have my audience bought in as much as they're going to be bought into his, you know, that's going to hopefully maybe there's a little bit of a Jesse James effect on whatever I do, you know, kind of build that brand loyalty even more. So I know he's got a great team, and like it's sick what he does, like how he has all these businesses and like all this stuff is doing. I can only assume his life is complete chaos. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but it seems like a lot. So it's like, you know, definitely like a role model to myself and a lot of people. And then I think just the like last year with like the sneaking into the Mr. Olympia as fake CBUM, that was like a day before idea. Like I was just gonna I think I was just gonna go and just try to give him like the phone. I don't know if you've seen the video where I delivered like an iPhone, because the joke was like, oh, you didn't text me back, so here's a phone. You must have lost it. Like, is a joke.
Okay.
And on the back, and I asked him for a signature. It's fucking hilarious, bro. I'm glad he laughed, because like it could have been like weird or like bad, but he actually like reposted it, so he clearly found it funny. On the back, it was like a joke saying like, if you sign this, you legally have to text me back. And there's no real contract there. It's just some bullshit. So he signs it, and it was so nice. Like he's like, "Oh, is this like a Christmas gift?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I wanted to be like, "Guys, cut! Like, stop! He's so nice. Like, he's so
do it. Yeah."
But it was just a fun thing, and I knew it was more like I mean, like if Ronnie Coleman was in the position of where Chris is right now, I would have. Or Jay Cutler or something, like I would have been like, oh, sneaking in as Jay Cutler or something, you know, like it's just, he's popping, you know, it's a simple, hey, we add the fake CBUM thing, it's going to get 3 more million views, and people loved it. And people really enjoyed that video. It was it's like a lighthearted prank where no one's really being pranked.
Got it.
Like I don't ever want to, I would never want to either prank someone or do something that actually like hinders like the event or anything. Like that's why I made sure I was like, all right, I'm not gonna actually like go prank him at any like important moment. Like not that his meet and greet wasn't important, but like it was the day before. Sure. Like if he was ready to be on stage, I'd be like, guys, we are not doing this. Like hell no.
You're trying to be as appropriate as possible
and that's
while trying to build content.
Exactly. So it's like, it's a fine line. I think we hit that line. So it's always you gotta be kind of like conscious of like, you know, my audience loves Chris. If I prank him, it can't hurt. My audience could be mad. You know, you got to keep that in mind. So it's like let's be careful and stuff. So like, I think that's important when thinking of crazy things and sometimes I fail at this because I'm like, oh, crazy, great, oh my god, and then you get caught up and you're like, that was a stupid idea. I won't name what, but you know what I'm talking about. And so it's like always keeping the audience in mind. You know. Like everybody's got feelings. The audience has feelings. Right. So trying to keep them in mind is it's hard though. But
because you're always trying to outdo yourself. So
yeah, it's kind of a cycle.
So let's go to the third step.
Yes.
So you went from 500,000 to $1 million, breaking out of the million. Let's talk about that because I want to make sure we get through the whole, the thought process.
But so to sum up, I'm not some psycho CBUM fan. I thought that was just an intelligent idea. And like a funny thing.
Well, I also think that you kind of build content around things that are probably doing.
It's called social hacking. There's like a name for it.
Right.
So
right.
Social hacking is where there's an event or there's a boxing match or something, and it's a common thing to sneak into these things.
Sure.
It's like a category on YouTube, and so you find these things and you social hack it. You hack your way to be a part of that.
Right. I think it's happening now with Sam.
Yes. So Sam like I essentially could. I don't know, either eat like him for a week or something. And like, that's a social hack because he's popping. So it's like, let's jump on that trend. It's just, it's trend jacking, you know, something's trending. So hop on it.
Right.
And I've always been very cognizant of that, of like what's going on in the industry and like hop on it, you know? But, so going from 1 mil and on was where I started, it kind of took like a hit first, like this next like strategy, and then went up more. And I was like, I need to do things that don't rely just on, you know, my girlfriend, my friends, or like some clickbait or something. Like it's got to be like this conceptualized content. Like it's got to be about the concept, a little bit less about me and more about what is this concept. So I found videos that are like, you know, let's say a challenge per se. Beat my lift, win $1,000. I did a video in Miami, and that kind of like was the first like it started off bad and then popped. And it's like, you don't really need to know me to click, but then I'm going to give you something to want to stay to watch other videos, like my personality or something. So that was sort of the next strategy once I hit a mil. Because at first it was kind of like all about my life and then maybe some challenges or something. And then I was like, all right, I need to shift to this conceptual content. That's just like the name of it. And then once I did that and I started picking concepts, big things, fake muscle suit. You don't need to know me at all. Yeah. You don't even have to like me.
That's kind of recent too.
Yeah. So I've done that a few times, the fake muscle. That thing's just viral as hell. I don't know why.
Well, it's because it's kind of cool.
It's just odd.
Like, yeah, it is. It's different, right? People going in there. If you haven't seen it yet, what do they search for on YouTube?
Fake muscle suit prank. It's just that.
And it's basically you dressed up in a fake fat suit. And obviously you're in shape.
Yep.
You're a strong kid. And you were in there. And I believe, did the guy that was in that didn't know
the fat suit one?
Yes.
So first I did the muscle suit, and it's like literally like putting on like a open bodybuilder's.
No, the one I'm talking about is the fat suit.
The fat suit, I've done 2 of those. And that one, the first one I did was like a more serious one where I wore it for 24 hours to see how people treat me.
Okay.
And like genuinely, it was a crazy experience in my life. Like my demeanor changed. Like by the end of it, I was like, dude, like I don't even feel like filming.
Because you're depressed.
Yeah, I literally felt
people
depressed.
Treated you differently.
Some girl, I'm walking down the stairs, and I told my guys to just film everything because you never know who's gonna be looking. We're walking. I'm just trotting down some stairs, and some girl goes, "When are you due?" And I go,
"Wow."
I go, "What?" And she goes, "Oh my God, you heard her." Like, "Oh my God, I just fucking said that to someone
out loud."
Yeah, it's like out loud, and I was like, I laughed it off because I know
this is in Maryland.
Yes, just in the mall, and then. It's funny because I went to the gym and I actually had a lot of negative experiences. We edited it and just put all the positive ones because I didn't want to deter someone that's overweight to not go to the gym.
Okay.
Because I felt if they watch that, it's going to validate their feelings and they're going to be like, I'm not going to the gym. If Jesse's experiencing negativity, I'm not going. And I'm trying to motivate people to do better things with their lives. So I was like...
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, don't you think you could have put that out there so that the assholes that would have treated these people that way...
it was like a line I wasn't sure to walk on. I was like, I could keep this video as like a positive thing, or I could actually expose people in a way. But I was like, let's play it safe. Let's put the positivity. And it's funny because like, I remember I go up to this guy and I start chatting with him, and he's like, and then he realizes it's makeup, and he's like, "Oh, you're wearing makeup?" And then he's like, "Dude, I just texted my friend, and I said this fat fuck is at the gym right now, trying to work out or something." I'm like, haha, that's funny, dude. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really? Like, you actually? And he shows me, he types it. I was like, wow. And I was like, okay, like, well, thanks for telling me.
So he's
like,
showing you that he's a dick.
I was like, yeah, he's a dick. So like, it really is. I mean, that's the sad truth. Like, people are thinking negative fucking things.
Yeah, but that's why people have to stop being assholes.
I
because
know.
People out there just trying is what needs to happen, because they're not going to be able to get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
Because if they're getting that negativity, they're never going to be able to do it. So
I know.
Why turn around and torture people that are going out of their way to actually try to change their lives?
That's why
like, it's a fucked up thing.
I know, it's really messed up. And I feel like it's like everyone that just starts at the gym, or if you're overweight, you never gone to the gym, it's like their biggest fear. And I think, yes, it's a reality that people might look and think things, but I think you got to just remember that you're on that mission and you're trying to better yourself, and you can't look at other people that are negative, because in reality, they're just reflecting on their own thoughts on either themselves or life. Like, that dude probably is just an unhappy person, and that's why he texted it, because he's like, "Oh, fuck that guy." Like, but in reality, he's really saying like, "Oh, fuck me." Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just reflecting whatever he thinks in his head about life.
Yeah, but you can't protect those kind of people, man.
No.
I'm telling you. Like, I know, and I appreciate you always trying to be positive. And I think, when did you start pulling the swearing out?
I know, because you notice I swear a lot.
I know you do, but it's not on your channel.
Yeah.
So you definitely clean it up, and I think that's because of your demographic and because of the fact that so it doesn't get.
I think I would say during that like switch from a mil and up, once I hit a mil, I was like, all these big YouTubers hit me up and they were like, "Hey bro, like if you swear, if you keep bleeping things, because I would bleep it like beep.
Yeah.
They're like, if you keep bleeping it, it's been rumored it'll lower the amount of money you're gonna make, the CPM.
Okay.
Because like they know it's you're swearing. Like it's like a common
So
noise.
it's almost like
it's like you might as well just swear. And then also, someone said if you hear beep 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 beep, like if your son's watching a video and you hear beep 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 beep, you're probably like, "What are you watching?"
Yeah.
Like turn that off. Like clearly that's something R-rated or whatever. And I kind of was then, to be honest.
So then you decided.
So I was like, I got to clean it up a little bit. So I just mute it, like so there's just no noise, like you hear like nothing. So it's like, what the did you just say? But I honestly, like, you'll catch me say things twice. Like if I say like, what the fuck, I'll be like, oh my God. And I'll say it again. I'm like, oh my God. I'll just change like what I said.
Right.
Because I know my editor can just chop out the what the fuck. And I think
my video will have the F parts in it. Yours won't.
I think that's just like the sad part about YouTube is that yes, you could blow up and like have like you can be like beyond authentic. But I think like it's like a balance beam that it's like you have to kind of pick and choose your battles.
Absolutely.
Like, do you want to have an issue with YouTube or do you want to like have a clear?
Because you really don't have control at the end.
No, we're puppets at the end of the day. It sucks.
There's no freedom of speech.
So like
ultimately,
exactly. Like no, like YouTube, bro. They will like I think this is on YouTube, right?
Yes.
What's up, guys? Like I love them for what they give me,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like they definitely suppress like that stuff. Like they don't want they want. Especially now, the way that the content is like kind of going, they want everyone to be clean, and I don't care what they say they do. Like, log out of YouTube or go on incognito mode, and go look. There will be all clean cut stuff. There is not an ounce of something bad because I mean they got to protect themselves with their ads.
Sure,
but it's just kind of like it's like disappointing because like
I know we talked about this, man, but how much did you get suppressed because of the porn?
Oh,
the situation.
The video with a porn star. I didn't do porn, guys.
Yeah, well, that hasn't been found yet. So I don't know. There's some videos out there.
Dude, because that's the thing.
So yeah, and again, shock value, right?
So my thought. So it's crazy. I came to a conclusion with this talking to my mom. My mom warned me. She's like, "You shouldn't do that," and I was like, "No, it's gonna work. Trust me."
I'm gonna show you, Mom.
Mama knows. You're Karen. Wrong. I was like, "I'm gonna show you."
Yeah.
Like, I'm genius.
Yeah.
And so, and no hate towards the woman that I worked with. Like, she's a great person. But I think like just where my audience is and where the world is, there's two ways you could look at it. One way.
So why don't you give a little backstory what happened?
Yeah. So I collabed with someone who's an adult star.
Okay.
I'll say that so it's a little cleaner. A porn star. And so, well, actually I did two. Fucking, I did one where it was a dating show where this girl, she's younger. That one got less hate. It still got hate, but like she's kind of like making her way into the influencing world like she used to. And like she even says she regrets it. And like I don't hate on her as a person at all. Like she's growing up, you know? Mm-hmm. But that was like, everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I was so confused because it still blew up. But I was like, it still got like a lot of likes. So it was like kind of this like confusing metric of like people are hating, but then it's blowing up. So like I'm confused here. So I didn't take it as like that was like the first warning of like, maybe don't post the second one.
Right.
And then.
But don't you look at your target, like your demographic? What's your demographic? When you look at your demographic and you pull it from YouTube.
So my demographic is probably, I mean, obviously there's like your son, like that's 10 that watches probably like.
Yeah, but he watches because he knows that I did a video with you. Then he went and typed in your name.
Yeah.
Now he's
getting pushed. So let's say, I'd say it's probably 15 to 30. Majority is 15 to 21.
And that's like over 50%.
Probably over 50. And then there's just like stragglers all around that are just like, oh, I like this guy. He's funny.
You get the average 70, 80-year-old.
That's, you know, it just wants to feel young again. So like my thought process was like when I had 1 million subs and I was like a little more raunchier, like a little more edgy, because that's just like I was more, let's say, more me, I'm more authentic. Mm-hmm. I did like I would just like, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, whatever, like hot girls get views. Let's do it. So I think my mindset was stuck at 1 mil with this thought of like, oh, this porn star, like every guy, wouldn't they want to watch this? Like, cause they probably know who she is too, or like watch porn, but there's a big shift in like masculinity right now of anti-porn and, I see it as like there's a little misogyny in the world that's getting pushed, but like these younger guys are just so influenced by like these alpha males. And like in my head, I'm like, you guys should go look up to Sebum because like he like is very real and he's not like, I'm an alpha. Screw that. Screw women. Be a man. Like, but then there's guys out there that are like that. And these younger guys that are like 15 to 21 are really attached to them right now. And I'm not like that.
So you'd say like an Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, yeah. So like basically Andrew Tate, and I'll probably get hate for like kind of like talking negative on Andrew Tate, but like whatever, guys, this is me. This is the truth.
That's right.
But like, I think I understand why he said what he said and why he did what he did, and he's outlandish and it worked. It got him huge. But I think people took it too literal. Like they took it too like. They think like, no, these are the rules of life. And then so like that kind of shifted the audience. So like 2 years ago, I bet that porn video would be praised. Yeah, I bet money. And then this year, post masculine push, it's like very anti-porn, very anti like OnlyFans girls or like girls that like, oh, if they have a high body count, like they belong to the streets. And I'm like, guys, like I think you're taking all this like way too literal. Like people are just humans. Like let's just like, I'm a positive person, like you know how I am with people. So like I'm like, let's just like let people make their own decisions, guys. Like let's chill. But the way that the sort of trend of young men right now is against that stuff, like that like outlandish woman type stuff, or not outlandish, but like very extra. I don't know, whatever the fucking category is. They get my point. So when I post with someone who's a part of that, I didn't realize that audience is like most of my fans, and they were like, like, what are you doing? And I was like, I actually like really like kind of like had like a little, like, my girlfriend's like, stop reading the fucking comments. Like they don't matter. And I'm like sitting there on like my dinner table, just like staring into space. Like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I let a lot of time go by and I thought, okay, well maybe this woman has is a whole different genre. She's older. I feel like guys, you know.
So you need a younger porn star?
I had a younger porn star, and then there was like an older one. She's not like old, but she's just like 30s or something. But like they're two different audiences. One's like 21.
I'm sorry.
What?
When you start saying she's not older, but she's like 30 or something.
Well, no, she's just like she's not she's not a 21-year-old porn star that like a dude can be like, oh, fuck her.
But do you really think, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you really think that if you had a 21-year-old porn star, you wouldn't have got the blowback you got from having a 31-year-old porn star?
I don't fucking know, man. It's like, at the end of the day,
I'm going to help you out with that.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter.
No.
Either porn star.
No. Porn star. Yeah, exactly.
So I make that video with her, and I'm like, all right, let's give it a lot of time. Let's see what happens. 2 months later, I post it, and I'm like, I definitely got less hate than the first one, in my opinion. Like the first one was like a good amount, and then this one is still a good amount. But it was sort of just like because I did both, people were like, "What the fuck, bro?" And then honestly, like a month later, I was like, "What the fuck, Jesse?" You know what I mean? Like
so yourself.
I saw it.
What'd your mom say? I want to hear what your mom said.
My mom was like, "I told you, like it's a line you shouldn't cross. Like it's too far." And like I said, you know, like pranking Sebum, there's that line where like we keep it friendly,
right?
And then there's, you know, if I were, let's say I prank Sebum, oh, he's about to go on stage, you know, like that's fucked up, you know, like,
yeah,
and that's basically,
not a prank.
that's not a prank, it's just fucked up. So it's same thing with this. It's like, oh, maybe there's like a hot girl is the farthest you could push it, but then there's the porn girl, and now it's too far.
Right.
So it's something I learned from. It's something probably never gonna do ever again. I would say like 99.9%. I don't know why I would ever do it again. At this point, I will say I'll never do it again. Maybe I'm just saying that because I don't want to be mean, you know what I mean? Like towards like the people I worked with, because you know they were nice to me. But never do that again. Learn my lesson. Definitely affected my audience for a bit. I think I have to.
What happened? Tell me what happened. What did you see? What was the fallout?
I feel like it kind of, the second time I did it, like the second one, just solidified people's opinions on me more of like.
But did you see a drop off on views? Did you just
views? I think, and I also like kind of was like,
because they could have throttled the algorithm too, right?
I feel like it might have just, it could have. I will say I definitely.
If you're not, here's my situation with
YouTube didn't like it.
Well, think about this, right? What if you're sitting there putting together, as your own creative director, storylines to the point where you're not even swearing, okay? now YouTube is pushing you to a wider audience because guess what? Most of the people on YouTube are younger, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't go on TV anymore.
Yeah.
TV's dead.
Yep.
Now you turn around
And post that.
and you post porn.
I know.
Okay, not actual porn, but doing some kind of skit, prank, whatever that was, with a porn star. But you won't say fuck.
I know,
right?
Because that's where, like, I think I forget. Like, I literally will forget that I have 3 million people now.
Right.
I know what you're saying, and I like this conversation because, like, I like your opinion because it's like you're you're wisdomous. You know what I mean? You're older than me. You know what's fucking right. I'm just a 23-year-old idiot.
No, you're not an idiot. You're very smart and you're very calculated. But I think that this is where you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Right. Is that some people, like I was mentioning Colin earlier, because the guy's got pressure up the ass of trying to get better at he's growing a business. He had supplement line, he had this, he had that. There's tons of pressure as becoming an influencer slash athlete. You got to keep pounding away at social media. My thing is that you've built this amazing channel, 3 million plus. You've got this wide audience, and you're trying to outdo yourself, right? But as we talked, Mr. Beast has a ton of money. He can turn around and be like, I'm going to give away $1 million. And then next time I'm going to give away $2 million.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and he can keep upping it because his the amount of monetary just bandwidth he has is crazy, right? So he can still go down that road. Him and his team can just get together and be like, we don't give a shit what it's going to cost. We're going to go ahead and do this.
Do it.
But ultimately, he's not going to go and do, hey man, let me do something with this porn situation because again, he has a young audience and that's why he has such a wide variety of people and how deep that goes for him. So I think that you kind of like that old saying, you don't shit where you eat. You know, well, yeah.
I shat where I fucking ate twice, bro.
Yeah. Well, and the first time was kind of not so bad and the second time was pretty much
solidified the deal,
it was a little bit of diarrhea. But yeah. So
what I learned, I think the difference with me and some other YouTubers is like I'm also like not afraid to experiment. I think I went through a little bit of an experimentational phase after my show. I was like, let's just see this crazy stuff.
Right.
And I think, it always what falls back is like stick to what you're really good at too, which is like bodybuilding at a broad audience bodybuilding, broad audience fitness, viral fitness, like big challenge fitness, and a keyword I'm saying fitness over and over.
Right.
It's more like that. And I think especially then with like where men are right now and their mindsets, I think you have to keep that in mind whether you agree with that or don't. I think the biggest thing I can take from that is like, again, don't shit where your audience is eating either,
right.
And I kind of shit where they're all eating.
You got to know your audience, right?
And I think the hardest part about growing a lot and like becoming a broader channel is like remembering that what worked just a year ago, what worked a year ago and was acceptable
might not work now.
Like
right.
I have to almost treat it like that doesn't even exist.
Right.
But it's hard because like I'm not that different from 22 to 23. You know what I mean? So like I have to really like analyze this stuff and be like, okay,
that's difficult.
But through trial and error and through failing, I will succeed. Like my views may have went down a little after that, but like I will rebuild it. Like
I don't think I have any problems doing that.
And like I think I just got to show my audience again, like, hey guys, like I'm not going to do that. This is good that we're talking. Like, hey guys, I'm not going to do that. Okay, you can count on me not doing it. If I do, then fucking kick me in the balls.
Otherwise, you're gonna see him at the AVNs. He's gonna be over there. But yeah, man, no, I'm really excited to see what you're gonna do next because again, you're hitting that threshold of what I call that stratosphere. I think a lot of the top influencers are around that 3 million mark.
Yeah.
And then it's really, the air gets really thin up there.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to break out into that 4 or 5, 6 million and above.
There's a big gap.
There is.
And I have like a partner at YouTube. This guy like works and like if I have like, oh, my channel's broken right now, I call him and stuff, and he works with all different YouTubers.
Good. I'm going to need you to help me with something on that one.
Everyone's going to hit me after saying this. But I remember he told me right before I was at like 2.5, and he told me on a call, he's like, well, I was just over 2, and he's like, you're going fast, like you're going to get to 3 clearly. He said, you're right at the point where you're no longer small, but if you go corporate, you can blow up. But now you're in that middle, which he's like, this is a weird zone to be in. Like a lot, that's why there's a lot of YouTubers are either like 2.5 or like 5 and above.
Right.
There's like not many are in that like
3,
middle.
4, yeah. It's like,
so it's like I'm in like a weird ballpark right now, and I think I'm really feeling that. So it's like, got to be smart, stick to your roots, fucking do what the fans want, you know. If I want to do it too, like that's a perfect combo of stuff. So
really quick, what's next for you, man? Like I know you were talking about doing.
I'm gonna do porn.
yeah.
Kidding.
Not just because not everyone who does porn is actually a star.
Son of a gun. Listen, I was dealt, you know, just some decent genetics. All right, I won't be a star. I'll just be. No, I'm kidding. What's next? You know,
are you gonna do it on the show?
I think I want to put more size on. Every time I diet down, I'm like, damn, I'm so much skinnier than I thought I was, you know? Like I'm not as...
That's how everybody
probably feels that way. It's probably inevitable.
No.
I think I'll probably do a show... I think I want to do it before summer.
Okay.
Because my girlfriend's going to kill me. She's like... Because it's just like so... like
invasive
on your relationship. I'm like not there, you know? Like she's like... it's
hard to be
boring for her,
present.
you know? She's like, a relationship's boring as fuck right now. And I'm like... Give me 30 days, babe. Only 30 days of hell. Like, cause once we're like a month in, like that's when it's, you know, digging. I think probably end of spring, maybe. I think my next step would be a natural show.
Sure.
Just to kind of like see what accolades I could gather up. But right now,
because the other one you did was Christian's show.
Yeah, which is like, it's not a natty show, but like
it's a transformation.
It's like it's like in between natty show and IFBB, because there's like some like, you know, dudes that are on juice there, but like a lot were natural. So it's like it was a good like mixture. So I think I'll do I guess it's OCB.
Okay.
Is that something?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, well, honestly, whatever. The reason I did summer shredding because they let me film.
Oh,
that was why.
Got it.
Christian was like, film whatever. I was like, because IFBB calling you guys out, or no, it's NPC. NPC.
It is difficult.
Let people film, dude.
Yeah.
You know how many more people would compete in NPC if like I guarantee summer shredding will have a lot, like an extra 200 people go because they saw my summer shredding video. So it's like, guys, NPC, you want some money? Just let me pay a fee to film.
Yeah.
Boom. Fixes it.
They have different rules for sure. I think it's one of those things where more people are talking about it. They're talking, you know, and I'm sure that, and Tyler, who's the vice president, Jim Manion's grandson, I think they're going to obviously look at, you know, constantly try to see how do they...
Literally all they have to do is just charge like an expensive fee. Like, yeah, it'll suck paying like $1,000 to let your dude film, but like there's going to be a few influencers that will do it.
Sure.
You know? The stage footage that they film is always fine.
Did you have to pay for Christians?
I think, like just a backstage coaching pass and that passed for it.
Got it.
But they just had so much leeway with stuff, so it was nice. But yeah, I think
because he competes in the
NPC. That's why he started it. He was like, they don't let me do shit. I'm gonna make my own league.
Right.
So
yeah, but he did
that.
But he still competes in the NPC.
I know.
So I mean, obviously
because that's what validates bodybuilding.
Right, because it's the best organization. Period.
Yeah,
it really
it's the most
is.
Competitive and everything.
Absolutely.
So. I mean, but
I do know that it's a bit tight on that. But hopefully, there's going to be some different changes down the road. But I also understand that there's a lot of thought going into it because it's been around for so long too. There's some things that take maybe a little bit longer, but when they do, like look at all the divisions. You know, like it took a little while before those divisions came out, but when they did, it was like okay. Then we had wellness. You had bikini. Then you had figure. Then you had bikini. Then you had wellness. Now you have men's classic. You have all of these other divisions that are popping off. But I think that, I mean, the future is bright because there's so many people that are coming into the sport from YouTubers, guys like Chris,
Mr. Beast and Eric are doing a bodybuilding competition.
They were supposed to. What happened with that?
I think they pushed it I think they both were like, we need another year.
Okay.
Like they're nowhere near ready. And
between the two, who do you think?
Eric.
You think so?
Eric is his name, but he has very good genetics. Like his ab insertions are like super symmetrical and like obliques. Like I think because they're not huge,
right?
But
and Mr. Beast doesn't have. He has farther to go.
Yes,
right.
I think Mr. Beast is like a year behind Eric in like development of muscle.
Yes,
but he's lost a lot of weight. Looks fantastic.
I know he's working hard.
Yeah,
I know he's working hard, and I know that he's definitely doing things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So we got to see Mr. Beast. You know, I know you listen to this podcast, and you're going to definitely want to come in, train. So again, take it to the next
Jimmy,
level.
let us know when you want to train.
That's right.
I'll be Hany's camera guy.
That's right. You can be the creative director. You know, just be careful of the porn. You know,
I know
no porn that day.
Jimmy's watching that
free
segment
zone.
and he's like, exactly.
Like, yeah,
right, Hany?
Yeah.
Tell him.
Yeah.
I know. I think that's one of the things though, is like the where I am.
This one's gonna get so pressed because you said the word porn so many times.
I would just bleep it and put an emoji of a corn. They'll know. Or use this word, corn. Like just take that piece. Corn. Corn. Now you have all different takes. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm not going to lie. It still haunts me, bro. Fucking haunts me. I debated like taking them down and I was like, it kind of just like, I don't know, just leave them. Let them fucking be. Anyways.
Yeah, I can tell you are. So,
it pisses me off.
Yeah,
Like my decisions 2 months ago pissed me off. But also, I think people need to realize that I'm not a fucking robot.
Yeah.
I'm a human. At least I didn't fuck up on other parts of life. You know what I mean? I could have done something else stupid.
What if you did and we don't know yet?
Well, I haven't. Guys, I don't do anything stupid.
I like to just give you a hard time because I like to see you squirm. I like to see you squirm.
I know. You like pressing me a little.
I do.
It's fine, though.
I do. You know, and what's crazy was that when everybody saw when we did our first video together, it was funny because you were much more chill than I guess you normally are.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were tired. It was like, less than 4 or 5 days out from your show.
And you also kept telling me, take a sip.
Yeah, I'm like, take a sip, relax, take a deep
all
breath.
right, this is weird.
And normally you like to go hype and you like to just like kind of build it up. And I'm just like, no, relax.
You know what's funny is that video, the watch time was like for a training with video, like a series of training with whoever. It had like the best watch time that I've had on any training with. So like people stayed longer. So I was like, fuck, man, do I need to chill out? But it's hard because I love filming. Like I truly do. And that's why I get so hyped because I'm just having like a fucking blast.
Yeah.
But it's like, I
don't think it was because you were calm. I think it was because
I think it was just a good video.
I think it was a good video, but I thought also because you were sharing good information.
Yeah.
You had, you were asking a lot of questions, which normally a lot of the people that I work with don't.
Yeah.
And I think that your audience, maybe some of them knew who I was, but maybe a lot of them didn't.
Yep.
So for them, it was kind of more of a learning. Yeah, it was a learning moment.
If you just pay attention, you hear a question, you want to hear the answer.
Yeah, and you were doing a really good job just asking questions that your audience would want to know.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons why you had a long watch time on that.
Yeah.
But one of the questions I did have for you, and I want to kind of, let this be out there, but when you go into this with YouTube, the monetary side of things, how much of that can you share? Like when you're hitting 500,000, what does an average guy in fitness, because people ask me, and believe it or not, my personal channel is not monetized. Right?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. My personal channel.
Wait, why?
Because I had an old channel, my old FSD7 channel and it was just very small. It just started off and then I just left it alone.
Wow.
And then when I started the new channel, the new Hany Rambod FSD7 channel, the one that I have on right now, it got monetized and then it got demonetized because it said that I already had an old channel.
Oh,
so it's linked somehow. So and it got fixed.
Is that why you need me to ask?
Yes, that's why I just thought about it because you were just like, oh,
I can ask him.
Yeah, so that was one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I have a friend that's a vice president of Google.
What?
and he fixed it. And he had me like talk to somebody over there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I can try to look. And they fixed it, and it was good for a couple months. And then all of a sudden, the program reconnected to the old channel.
The old one or something.
I have to, but I don't. It was one of those things. And now that I'm actually putting a lot of time and effort into it, people are asking me. They're like, "Hey, how much do you make when you made up to 250,000 or 500,000 views or a million views?" And I go, "I don't know. I haven't made a dime."
Wow.
So I don't know. So on that side,
one thing is that you can look up on Social Blade, but the numbers are very skewed because of shorts now.
Okay.
So like it might look like I'm making like $500,000, but I'm not because like shorts make like very little money.
Okay.
But if it gets 50 million views, Social Blade just thinks that's 50 million like real big views.
Because don't they go by a couple of different things? from what I understand, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because
Yes.
this is the information where I consider you an expert.
Yep.
It's who the audience is also. Because if it's from the Middle East, or if it comes from Asia, or if it comes from like India,
Or like Spain,
or I don't know about Spain, but
Brazil, it's low.
so all those viewers, because of the fact of their demographic,
Yeah.
it's going to be less for that viewer
Yeah.
that you're going to get paid on. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah. So there's something called CPM and then RPM. CPM is it's cost per minimus or something. It means per 1,000 views.
Okay.
So it's how much money the ads are paying, how much YouTube makes from the ads for 1,000 views.
Okay.
In fitness, if you make a 10 to 15 minute video, it's about $10 to $15. $20 would be very high. Like that's like December. The bug.
Okay.
And sorry, the fucking
It's from all that sweat.
ADHD. So it's about like $10 to $15, but you only keep about half of that because YouTube takes their cut.
Okay.
Maybe a little less than half. So let's say it's like 5 to 7.
Okay.
On average, mine are about 5.
And that's per how many?
Per 1,000 views. So per million, you just times 1,000. So 1 million views will make about 5K.
Okay.
And people can do the math on.
And that doesn't matter who, if it's a U.S. audience.
Well, that's
or,
like a that's like a 30% US, 10% Europe.
That's your mixed.
The mixed, majority is US, but mixed everywhere else.
Okay.
If you're all US,
It's
it'll
higher.
probably be like a $10 take home. If you're in finance, it's like
Way
a
high.
$40 take home.
Yes.
So you could get no views. People could be like, wow, that guy sucks at YouTube. No, he's fucking killing it.
Right. I have a couple of friends that have told me that.
So it's killer, but it's hard to get. It's much more niche and so fitness is actually quite a good one to be in. It's kind of more like that. It's about the same.
What's the lowest?
You got to think of what people just aren't buying, or the only thing I can think of that is low is just stuff that appeals to like third world countries or something. Like if it's a very I know India is the lowest.
Okay.
And it's like $1.
Got it.
Or 50 cents. So, because they're not buying things, they're just watching. But they have the most people watching YouTube.
Right.
But their dollar amount is the lowest. So, if you make if you have 10 million views, I guess that's like 50K. But it varies. That could be 40K. It could be 60. It could be 80.
So that's in a month.
In a month.
So if you do a monthly thing,
Yeah,
and you're
monthly.
making 10 million views, you're-
With give or take 20K on each end, low and high,
right.
50K. So someone like Sam Sulek,
yeah,
and I'm not gonna say how much money he makes. I have no idea, but he posts 20 to a minute to an hour. So his CPMS are probably at probably a $10 take home, or it'd be a lot to be 15. But I have no idea. His audience is wild. But he's getting almost. He's probably bringing in 1 million views a day. So
that's 30 million a month.
yeah. So
Do the math.
Do the math.
That's a lot.
Fucking crazy.
Crushing.
That's
awesome.
Never seen. I got to give props to him.
Yeah, man. You have to.
It's almost like something it's one of those things where you're like, I don't understand. You do understand, but it's so crazy that you don't understand. Where yeah, he's pulling 500 to 1 mil views on every video, posting daily, and very impressive. I know the grind of posting 3 times a week. Now he's doing a different style that I've ever done. I never did anything like tripod and stuff, but I know it's still difficult. I don't think people realize how hard. Because bro, imagine if his Wi-Fi goes out one day, it's like you're fucked.
Right.
And that's why I'm very curious on the longevity. Not that he won't have longevity, but how long he can do daily.
Sure.
That's hard.
Yeah, I didn't know he was doing daily. I didn't know.
Every
Wow.
fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I know when I did 3 a week, I was praying for the days I would get to 2. And then when I went to 2 a week, the videos got better and I was praying for 1. Now I'm at 1 and I pray for 2 a month. But it's because every time in my head, if you slow down, you got to make things better, you got to always keep up the quality. But I'll be very curious. I think the money in fitness is not fitness people are very fortunate where you have sponsors. So if you're only getting 10 mil, let's say you're only getting 5 mil, you're making great money, but you're probably spending, good money on the videos. Videos cost thousands.
Sure.
For me, they cost thousands of dollars to make.
Right.
Today was probably the cheapest video I got in like a month and with Ronnie, because
Right.
they're just training videos. But I still got to fly people here and stuff. But like
Sure.
typical videos can cost like fucking I've probably spent the most I've spent on a video is probably 8K, and you just hope that you get the money back.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do. So it's like, let's say you're only getting 5 million a month. You're spending a lot. You have a team you got to pay for. Like, you're not really pocketing too much. And if you're not in the fitness world, you don't have a sponsor.
Right.
Like I have money coming in from my commissions on supplements. I have money coming in on YoungLA. So
Your
like
own clothing.
my own clothing.
Yep.
So like for me and now Snapchat, like I've found it's probably like 7 or something if I counted it out, ways to make money. And it's like they always say, like, you need multiple streams of income.
Yep.
And I'm always looking for more. Like also I guess you could say like my investments. I have like a financial advisor. My dad helps me a lot with investments with like stocks. Like I put a lot of my money in stocks and like long-term shit, like 40 years old, I'll pull it out, or like things that like will make you, 40K in a year on like some sort of like savings thing. I honestly,
very, very aggressive.
yeah. So like, I don't really know what the hell that going on over there, but I kind of just like trust the people that I have doing it. But I think like for anybody out there, it's just about diversifying your money. So if one thing fails, like you need to be able to keep going. Like for me, it's like if you pulled all my money out of AdSense, I could keep going. I could still make the videos for 5K, like that's the goal. But if you cut out 4 of them, I'd be like, okay, we gotta start making cheaper videos. You know what I mean? Like, but I think at the end of the day, it's about diversifying, experimenting with different avenues of money. I think just learning, like next thing I want to learn is like ads. So I can like run ads. Like I don't know how to do it. So it's like, I got to figure that out. Real estate one day and stuff. And then also just building the clothing. I just like, I know YouTube's, like I know YouTube will be a catalyst of my life.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll probably do it for fun for the next like 5 years. Like not that this isn't for fun now, but like in 5 years, probably gonna be a dad, probably gonna have a business or like real estate or some sort of like bigger avenue. Like that's the goal.
Right.
Maybe I'll do some sort of like, I would love to do maybe TV shit. That'd be cool. But I think like you were saying something that stuck with me was like about honing in on the year.
Yep.
And like that thing and don't look at like decade, look at year or like 1-2 years or something. Like I look at it as seasons. So like how a business looks at quarters, I look at seasons. I don't really define the 4 quarters. I'm just like, okay, I'm in a season of competition where the businesses all are going to be supported by doing this. And like, I'm going to do a merch launch, I'm going to sell more programs and stuff. And then I'll go, okay, now I'm in a viral season. And then I'll try to like do more viral videos with AdSense taking more of that. And then I'll go back and be like, okay, now I'm back to like a vloggy season where now it's fan base oriented.
Sure.
So I kind of feel it out like every 3 months.
How you're going to go down the road.
Yeah.
You basically kind of get a consensus of what you've already done and what's been successful. That's cool, man.
I don't know. My brain doesn't turn off.
No, it's great. I mean, again, very good entrepreneurial mindset. Congratulations on all your success. If you guys want to check out the leg day video, that's going to be dropping soon. Go ahead and make sure you go ahead and follow Jesse James on Instagram as well as all the other social platforms that he's on. And we're going to be putting on your subscribe, and let me know if you have questions, because we're going to try to get them in here. What body part you guys want to see next?
Oh yeah.
So we got to do that.
I'm glad we got the legs over with.
Yeah, that was good. It was good. But next time we got to get you to do a collab with one of the big guys.
Yeah.
That way
I would love to train with one of the like a
Hany or
freaking
somebody.
Hany, bro. Let's do it if he's down. But maybe after the Olympia or something.
Yeah.
Not one day out. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm just playing.
No, Hany. I mean, the problem. I mean,
is he live here now?
No, he's here right now until the Olympia, and then about a week after. But
I'm kind of scared to train with him.
Yeah, the sad thing about it is that not many people can keep up with him in terms of like how
we would need to hire people to take the weights on and off.
He does. He literally,
because we'd be here all day, dude.
He has a friend that he flies in the last week or two that comes in and does it. Habib.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, and we get Habib comes in. It's like he knows his job. Take on and off the weights and then helps him cook. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see him here in a few minutes because he's going to show up to the office. So you get to meet, Hany
say
and
what's
Nick,
up. Yeah, that'd be
and,
cool.
and Derek, actually.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, so they're both here. But again, man, thank you so much for the insight.
you.
That, congratulations on all your success, man. Looking forward to the next one. Hany Rambod, Jesse James, and that's the truth.
A lot of the truth.